Hello, Steve White, Trek Boy 89 for Steve Arts 89. I'm not happy with the Star Trek The Motion Picture Director's Edition Blu-ray and HD release. I was noticing problems when I was ordering the Blu-rays and 4K because it was unclear what was on the discs and what discs were in the different sets. And it appears like I'm not the only person, because Trek Core had to put out an article basically going over what was in the content of the discs, because I'm thinking there were people who were asking questions or complaining. Now, the first issue is the difference between what the US and the UK is getting. Australia's getting nothing. All we're getting is the standard films on 4K single disc. That's all we're getting. Because I went on JB Hi-Fi expecting to see the complete adventures and the 6-film edition and the combos and all that, and work out what to get. Nothing was available. They're all available in the UK. Most of them available in the UK, and because we have the same region code, we can watch them. So I have to order UK DVD, Blu-rays, and 4Ks basically, because apparently JB is not the home of Star Trek anymore. Okay, so the 4K and Blu-ray 6-film set doesn't contain the director's edition of Star Trek 6 on Blu-ray. Even though I feel they implied that it did. Basically what you get is you get Star Trek The Motion Picture, Wrath of Khan, Search for Spock, The Voyage Home, The Undiscovered Country. You get all the standard Blu-ray versions, and you get the 4K versions, and the Star Trek 6 4K is what has the director's edition. They haven't made a new Blu-ray disc with the director's edition on it, so you're just getting the old standard theatrical version Blu-ray disc, and then you're getting the 4K disc, which has both versions. Now, normally when you release a 4K and Blu-ray combo, both discs have the same content. They can be sold separately or together, and it's just a matter of what format you want to choose to watch them in. You shouldn't have to change format, or which format you go with shouldn't decide what content is available to you. They should both be available. That's just wrong doing it, but they're trying to get people to buy 4K and upgrade to 4K to get the content. And it's manipulative, and it's wrong, and I hate it. They've done the same thing in the past many times with Star Trek, going right back to trying to put Star Trek onto, to make a fourth network for Paramount, and use Phase 2 for that. And then they cancelled it last minute when the network went down. They cancelled the show, so all the fans who were preparing for the new show got nothing. Well, they eventually got Star Trek The Motion Picture, but they didn't get the show. They did the same thing with UPN, where they put Voyager and Enterprise on UPN. It wasn't the best thing for the show. It was less available, less visible, got lesser ratings, and that's blamed on the quality of the shows, when it was because it was on UPN. It wasn't available to everyone, unlike had they sold it into syndication like Deep Space Nine and Next Generation, would have had the same history, same thing with that. So there is a history of this, and I'm not happy with it. So with the 6-film set, you get the Motion Picture Theatrical Edition 4K and Blu-ray disc. You get the Director's Edition 4K Blu-ray disc and a bonus feature disc, but they don't say is it 4K or Blu-ray, because it is available on both 4K and Blu-ray. But which one do you get in this set? Who knows? The Wrath of Khan is the same content as the one that was already released, so you get both Director's Edition and Standard Theatrical Edition in Blu-ray and 4K. Star Trek 3, 4 and 5, you can either get a single 4K release, which is the same content, just in 4K, or the Blu-ray release that was already available, just in new packaging, or you can get a combo of both, and I think you can get Blu-ray and the digital code as well. But Star Trek 6, even though it says on the front that both editions are available, it doesn't say anything about exclusivity to 4K or anything, but you can only get the Director's Edition on 4K, not Blu-ray, so it's a standard disc, and then the new disc is the 4K one, and that's it. Now, with the individual releases of the motion picture, they're releasing the theatrical cut on Blu-ray with new packaging. They're not releasing a standalone theatrical cut on 4K. The 4K HD, you're getting the digital code and the film and a bonus disc in one set. The only combined 4K and Blu-ray release of the Director's Edition in the United States is the special free disc Complete Adventure box set. The Blu-ray, you get both the Blu-ray and a bonus feature disc. And the combined 4K Blu-ray release of the Director's Edition is available in the UK and Europe only, not in the US, except I think for the Complete Adventure box set. So that's, I think, the only way to get that in the US. Now, the Complete Adventure box set, not happy about that. That's one of the ones I bought. I bought that and Star Trek 6. I don't need Star Trek 6 now. I bought it for the 4K. I bought it for the 4K cover and for the Director's Edition on Blu-ray, which isn't available now. So I'm not buying it just for a different cover art. So I have to cancel that now. I have to call the guy up tomorrow and cancel that. The Complete Adventure, which is not complete, doesn't have everything, even though it suggests it does. In the US and Canada, you get the motion picture and theatrical cut and special longer version on one disc. So the motion picture theatrical cut and special longer version, one 4K disc. The motion picture director's edition 4K disc and bonus feature disc. But in the US, there's no version of Star Trek the Motion Picture in Blu-ray on them at all. The UK, you get Star Trek the Motion Picture theatrical version Blu-ray disc, Star Trek the Motion Picture director's edition Blu-ray disc, but no special longer edition and no special features disc, unless the special features disc is done in Blu-ray, because I think 4K can play Blu-ray, and if the content isn't in 4K, it doesn't actually need to be on a 4K disc. They can just include a Blu-ray disc. I've seen that happen before. So it's unclear. I bought it mostly for the packaging, because you get a poster, you get a couple of booklets, you get some lobby cards. It's got nice artwork, and I collect Star Trek stuff. I collect Star Trek the motion picture stuff, but I haven't been buying any Star Trek stuff for years. I have a whole Smurf village worth thousands of dollars on my floor because I've been buying Smurfs instead of Star Trek. I've got all of the new Master Universe Origin figures and the Castle Grayskull and all that because I've been buying them instead of Star Trek. Basically, I used to spend all my money on Star Trek. Now I spend it on everything but Star Trek because I just don't like the way I've been treated by Paramount. And I just decided I'm not going to give them my money. I'm going to spend it on other things. I started collecting other things, and now I've just got a room full of other things. But yeah, I'm not happy with this because I bought the Complete Adventure because I was under the impression that it was 4K and Blu-ray and that it would have the same content on both discs, just like the individual discs, because that's standard. You put both content on the 4K and the Blu-ray, and you can sell them separately or together, and people can choose which format they want to watch it in. They're not being forced to pick a format or adopt a format to get content. That's exploiting people. That's exploiting fans. It's taking, you know what they want, you're not giving it to them, and you're giving them something else to lead them to buy what you want them to buy. It's manipulative, it's disrespectful. I don't like it, and I'm going to try not to cater to it. I mean, I'm still getting the Complete Adventure, but that's for the artwork, for the packaging. I would have done that anyway, but I'm not going to buy the 4K separate one. I'm going to have to buy the standard Blu-ray edition because it has the extra features disc. I was going to say the HD bonus features disc, but the Blu-ray bonus features disc is available on that. So I'm going to have to buy the separate one. So I have to call that guy up, cancel Star Trek 6, swap it for Star Trek 1, the Director's Edition Blu-ray 2-disc set to get what I should have got in the Complete Adventures, and I'm still not getting the longer version, which was originally made for ABC, because most people like me grew up watching the extended video version of Star Trek the Motion Picture, not the theatrical cut because it wasn't available. That wasn't available until way after the Director's Edition was done, and eventually when they did Blu-ray and standard, they re-released them, they did the theatrical cut instead of the Director's cut because it wasn't available, because there's been problems with the Director's cut the whole time. They didn't do it originally in HD, which was immediately a problem, and then we were asking for it for years. Then they told us we wouldn't get it, then they told us we would get it, and then they told us that they were redoing it, and it's going to be a new 4K version, but yet they're not making it available to everyone. The content isn't available in all formats, and it's just wrong. I mean, I shouldn't have to upgrade to 4K, which I don't want, which there's no reason for. You can't tell the difference between 2K and 4K or 180, 1080 and 4K unless you've got a giant screen or you've got a projector that projects like, in a theatre. You can't tell the difference. Like, it's ridiculous, but people have been sold on it, and that's fine if that's what they want to do, but I shouldn't have to change the format, to get the content. they should be providing it in both formats for the fans. So I'm not happy. Like I said, I'm going to have to cancel one thing and get another thing just to get what I wanted. I can't have, and what I should have gotten in the complete adventure, I'm still having to buy two different packages to try and get the content. I'm still not getting everything because I'm not getting the director's, I'm not getting the extended video version or the longer cut or the ABC cut or whatever you'll call it. I'm not getting that. And in order to get the bonus features, I have to get the separate standalone disc because it's not included in the complete adventure on Blu-ray. But I guess I should be grateful that we're at least getting Blu-ray and 4K content in that set. Unlike the US and Canada, they're only getting 4K. So I think it's a disaster. I think it's a mess. I think it's disrespectful. And I'm done with it. I'm not talking for more than 10 minutes. I'm going to go.